Hey guys, it's your boy Sam here, back with another episode. And today we're going to be we're going to just quickly recap on the last couple races that have happened since the last time I spoke with you guys. And reacting to some other NASCAR news. So let's get right into it. Ever since we talked, the last race we talked was after the Kansas race, where Denny Hamlin intentionally wrecked but Wallace. Ever since then, they're agreeing to at least be cordial about it. Bubba says that he has no hard feelings about it. I'm not in the same boat. I'm pretty upset about it. But anyways, the next week we went to the Charlotte Roval, and even as a fan of the oval itself, I actually really enjoyed the Charlotte Roval. Um, Especially this year, it was really, even with SVG whooping everybody's tail by what, 15 seconds again, it was still really eventful race because you had tire fall off, you had strategy. Um, I just wish we could have seen how it could have played out without the stage racing. I mean, stage cautions. I mean, stage racing is fine. Stage cautions, not. I would never be happy about stage cautions. Okay. And then the week after that, well, actually sticking with the Charlotte Roval, that was the cutoff race for the round of 12. Four drivers got eliminated after that race. It was both 2311 cars, Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, and sorry, not Alex Bowman, um, Austin Cindric, and Ross Chastain that got eliminated out of that round. I think it's been really difficult because seeing how the 2311 cars are running, they're running with decent speed, but not every week having race winning speed. And then still they're making mistakes on top of all that. So that could be really frustrating to have to deal with. I would be really frustrated. Then you have Austin Cindric, who is in one of the best rides of, he's in one of the best rides available, and he has a couple wins. He has a few wins here and there, but so far he hasn't really lived up to what Penske expects. So we'll see if he remain to be seen in that ride in the coming future. And Ross Chastain, Ross Chastain is the biggest wild card, still in the sport. You could either get a top five, top two guy, or you can get um, 20th. You never really know with Ross. Um, that's why some people love him. That's why I used to love him. But especially after his antics, I don't like him. I mean, like, no, you don't. You just don't race like that. And then after that, we went to, sorry, the first round of the round of 8, we went to Vegas. And Vegas was, I would say that was an amazing race. Like, I feel like, especially, sorry, excuse me. I feel like ever since we went to Vegas and like ever since they reconfigured Vegas, I feel like it's been consistently one of the best tracks in NASCAR, and I will hold steady to that. Even it was even putting on amazing racing with the 550 package, so you know you can almost pencil in Kansas and Vegas, the two sister tracks, sort of, to have amazing racing, even if the races themselves may not be that amazing, because you have to have both in order to be great race. But yeah, Denny Hamlin was able to lock himself into the championship four by winning at Vegas. So good on him. You know, I already said how I feel about his move at Kansas a couple weeks prior, but you gotta do what's best for you, I guess. So, and that became his 60th win. So I've always loved, Denny Hamlin. Probably will always love Denny Hamlin. Just not a big fan of his at the moment. But, trying to keep more objective. 60 wins, especially in this era of NASCAR, it's nothing to scoff at. Even if you don't have a championship, or if you do have a championship, it's nothing to scoff at. It's a major accomplishment. So kudos to Denny Hamlin, James Dennis Hamlin, and we'll just see how many more wins he can stack up in the future. And then we make our way up to this most recent race, which we had at Talladega, with 2 more races after. So that means it's the third to last race for our season. Oh boy. And despite where it's placed in the season, I actually believe that it was a really good race. I can't say that the entire thing was great. I'm still not happy about the stage cautions, but the parts that I saw, I wasn't able to fully see the whole thing, but I just need to go back through and, watch the race in its entirety. But what I saw, it was really good. It was really good. Like, even when they were going all out, we were able to have a third line going, which for most of the next gen, especially at Talladega, you can't say that. The only time you would get 3, 4, 5 wide racing is if they're in heavy fuel save mode. So, whether it's the car improving or these guys themselves learning better how to race this car, either way, it's been working. And so, I'm not saying that we shouldn't tweak the car. The car needs to be changed. It needs to be overhauled. We need less horsepower here and less drag. So these guys can make more moves on their own and not need a gang of cars behind them just to make one move. That'll always frustrate me. But, live and learn. And even with all that happening, we had Chase Briscoe, who was able to pull out the victory and lock himself into the championship round. I've been seeing recently that people are saying that, Chase Briscoe is just occupying a spot that should go to one of the other guys, a guy that's better. And I disagree. If you look at all the metrics across the season, Briscoe is basically top 5 or top 4 in all the major statistics, really. He's tied for 4th in wins. He has the best average finish, especially in these playoffs. And especially basically just since the summer started. And top 5s, top 10s, laps led. He's got 2 wins in the playoffs himself. I feel like he deserves to be there. Now, next year, when we're supposedly getting a different either 36 race or a probably back to Chase. I feel like we're getting the Chase. I would be fine with that. It would be a better indicator of we could see easier who is supposed to be the top dogs in the sport. And so once we get there, it'll really look to re-legitimize the sport. But even with the formats the way they are, these drivers, they have to perform. They have to step up to the plate. The teams have to perform. They have to step up to the plate. And you cannot have mistakes. So kudos to him. Kudos to Denny Hamlin for locking themselves into the next round. And let's see, who will be able to walk away with the championship at year's end. we also have one more race in this round of 8, and that's at Martinsville this upcoming Sunday. So that's the one more chance for the rest of the guys in the round of 8 to be able to lock themselves into a championship spot. Right now we have Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson. I believe they're only a point apart from each other, but they're both 34, 35 points above the cut line, with William Byron, I believe 35 down. Yeah, I believe 35 down. Ryan Blaney, is next in line. And then I think we have, if I'm not mistaken, we have Joe Logano with 47 down and Chase Elliott at the bottom of the grid, who is literally in a must-win scenario. I mean, they're all realistically in a must-win scenario, but you never know. Some of those other guys, they may be able to point their way in through the stages, and someone else being able to, not being able to, having trouble in their race. So that remains to be seen. I'm excited to see what we will see on Sunday. Even though I hate this format, I love NASCAR. So, I will continue to watch. But yeah. Last thing I wanted to talk about is we are supposed to be having an increase in horsepower next season and a new championship format. As I just mentioned, we might be going back to a 10 race chase or even an updated 36 race championship format, to where it's just season long points, and whoever has the most points at the end of the year wins the championship. I'm down with that. I can't say that I'm the biggest fan of it, especially if we probably go back to something like the Latchford. But if they increase the winners' points and bring back stuff like laps led, most laps led, even if we keep the fastest lap, I would be down with that. That'd be awesome. I would love that, honestly. 36 races, just great. I just feel like to compromise the most with the older and newer fans who probably like the playoff format, that a 10 race chase would be the best way to merge the two worlds. So that's what I would be going for. That's what I would be supporting the most if it were to come to pass, because we already have recent history of how amazing that can be. And it's less likely for someone to just run away with it in 10 races rather than 36. So yeah. Also, we'll lastly talk about the horsepower and then I'll sign off. We are going back to 750 at the road courses and the short tracks and the short ovals. Course correction back to where we were. Course correction nonetheless. I'm with this. I'm down with it. I'm happy about it. I can't wait to see how it would affect the racing. I feel like any small change like that still could make a major impact. We've had some of the drivers say that they don't think it will be a huge difference, but I disagree. I think any little change like that can make a big difference. So that will remain to be seen. We will have a whole off season to speculate until we get back on track next year. And then, we already have possibly a trial coming up in December between 2311 Fort Royal Motorsports and NASCAR. So we'll get more updates on that in the coming weeks. Love you guys. We'll talk more all things NASCAR. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Let's Talk _NASCAR for more. So, catch you guys in the future. Love you guys. We can talk in the comments. Like and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.